Hi everyone, this is Liz from Creative Life of Liz, and I am here planning for the week of August 25th through the 31st. This is in my B&R Paper Crafts Plan B planner. This week I'm using this kit from Planner Addiction. I think it's called like Nautical or something like that. Not totally sure, but it's like kind of patriotic-esque, but not too patriotic. I thought that would be good since this is Labor Day weekend down here at the end of the week. And I just like it. I think it's fun and colorful, and should be a nice thing to use. I did pull in a few extras as well. So first off, the biggest thing, I have most of a wiggle left from Scribble Prints Co. And this one is in red and blue for the foiling. So I wanted to use this for this particular spread. I think it goes together pretty well. So I have these bow headers that I'm going to use, and then I have 2 sets of date covers. I think I'm going to use the red starting ones, the ones that have more red. I think I'm going to use that. I have some flags and little bows, and then I have some bottom washi, and then this kind of like bottom washi size piece. I have a couple of those as well. I did also pull in these 2 additional washi's. This one I think is from Michael's from a long time ago. This one is from Scotch. And it's kind of shiny. I'll probably use the shiny one this time. And then I also pulled in, these are leftover date dots from Avalon and 9th. They don't exactly match the kit, but I feel like they go well enough that they're going to blend in. So I'm going to use those. And then I did pull in leftovers from this patriotic kit from Planner One Love. So I might use some of that. And then I did pull my Seasons Happy Planner sticker book. So I have a whole bunch of things to use, essentially. My plan is to stick down the bottom washi, which is going to be this white one with bows, and then I think I'm going to use this guy as the second one. Not sure if I'm going to use that. We'll set that to the side. I am going to stick down the date dots and date covers, and I'm going to stick down what are these called? The bow headers. These have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in every set, so exactly the right number. I am going to use 3 sets of these for this time. And then this one can go to the side for now. And I do have all the hydration trackers that I could put in. Yeah, I might put down the hydration trackers as well. All right, so I'm going to do all that stuff, and then I will be back so that we can do the interesting bits. All right, here's where we're at so far. Definitely very foiled. For some reason, these foiled headers are slightly wider than the width of a standard box, which is 1.5 inches. But I just slightly overlapped them to make it work out, and I think it turned out pretty cute. Also stuck in the weekend banner. Those of you who watch the channel pretty often know that I usually don't put the weekend banner over the days spots anymore, just because I tend to need this space, but it is a holiday weekend, so I think it's going to be fine as is. Okay, in terms of the full boxes, I have this one that really doesn't count as being helpful. And then I have these 2 that don't have anything actually in them. And then these 2 definitely go together. And I think these 2 can go together. And then that leaves me like one extra that needs to go with something. And so I'm gonna pull in one of these guys to kind of go with everything else. So let me see. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay, I think that's going to work out. I was trying to decide if I want to just skip one of the other boxes or use it for something else as well. I think I'm gonna stick with the plan. Okay, so first off, I'm gonna stick down the ones that I think are easiest, which is this guy, which I'm gonna stick right here. And then the coral. Which I'm going to put here on Saturday. All right, so that's the easiest two. The next easiest two, I think, are these two. And I'm gonna stick those on Monday. That one, for some reason, is just like the tiniest hair wide, but I think it's gonna be fine. And then here on Sunday, there we go. So that is pretty good. And then I end up with these, just these few left. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna put it in as this one right here. And then the extra page, I'm gonna pull in this star one because I feel like it goes the best with the vibes of everything else that's in here. There we go. All right, and then that leaves me these two. All right, I'm gonna stick this guy here in the middle, even though I'm not totally sure about that because it matches the hydration checker. I think it's gonna be fine though. And then I'm gonna take this one that I still have here, and I'm gonna stick it up here as my full box. All right, so that leaves these two that need to kind of be filled in with something. I would say especially this one. So this is the sticker book from Happy Planner. I'm gonna put in this little grill guy up here. I feel like grilling is very a thing that we do a lot at Labor Day. Definitely those kinds of vibes for sure. And then I think I'm gonna stick in this sandcastle. I'm gonna put it slightly lower than center. All right, I think that looks pretty cute. Moving on to the sidebar. I do have somewhere these guys left. So I think I'm gonna use this one if I can get it to pick up. And I'm gonna stick this right here. And then I do have a habit tracker in here. Do I want like a header for it? Sure. I'm gonna use this one that says remember. Feels appropriate. Be delightful if I could get everything lined up properly. There we go. Close enough at least. And then I'm going to stick in my habit tracker. There we go. I think I'm actually going to put in stretching for this one. Usually I put in socials, but I think I'm just going to put in stretching for this one. I don't think I need an icon or anything for that. And then I'm going to put underneath that this little strip here, also from the Wiggle. I think I'm going to finish a lot of this Wiggle, which is nice because I have it in my stash for a long time and I would like to use it up. All right, So that's there. I'm going to stick that in next. There we go. And then I'm going to use, I think, this header that says important. I'm going to stick that in next. I know it's the same color as this checkbox, but I'm still just going to use it anyway. I think they go together pretty well. So that's what I'm going to do. There we go. And then underneath that, I think I'm going to put this header that says to clean. There we go. And then I have this little 3-box checklist that I'm going to stick in. There we go. And then lastly, if I can get it picked up, I do have this like skinny strip of washi that goes with the kit. The end got torn, but that's fine. I'm just going to stick a strip of this down here at the bottom. And then I'm just going to trim it off like so. I think I'm actually going to stick it to this page because there's more spots that will fit a piece that long. All right. There we go. That is the sidebar done. Making good progress. Moving on to the weekly columns. First off, I have work. And I'm going to mark that with these little dollar signs. Feels appropriate. I'm just going to kind of randomly assign them. I don't think I have anything else super intense planned those days, so I'm going to use that. And then I'm going to turn this sideways, which is slightly confusing because of the shells, but that's fine. And I'm going to mark my plan with me that way. The other days, I currently don't have anything planned. I might end up using one of these checklists down here at the bottom. Not really sure, but nothing is planned right now. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to bump you. And then over here, I'm going to use the last 2 of these guys. I think that means I don't have to duplicate colors if I don't use this one. We're going to go with that. And then I'm going to use this other little flag for my video that is going up on Friday, which I believe is going to be my Book Bujo setup, reading journal setup for September. And then over here on the weekend, I think I'm going to use this one. I'm going to mark in right here. We're going to be traveling for some family time. So I think this is what we're going to go with for the pre-planning. I think it's looking cute. Stick around for just a second and you can see the finished spread. All right, here is the finished spread. I'll give it a little wiggle and a twerk. There is a good amount of foil on here for sure. I think it turned out really cute, and I definitely made good use of the kit. If I don't mention it, it did come from this planner addiction kit. I do still have a bit left over, which I'm just going to throw in my leftovers stash for use in some future time. The other thing that I used a bunch of is this Scribble Prints Go Wiggle. This page is just done. I still have the flags and bows, 1 set of glitter headers, and 1 set of date covers that I can use. So I'm going to throw those all back in this little envelope and throw this in my leftover stash as well. And then the last chunk of things that I pulled out, I do still have the rest of the date dots that I didn't need. And then I didn't touch any of the rest of this Planner One Love leftover stash. So that's also going back in the leftovers. Looking at it, all the foiled stuff is all from that wiggle from Scribble Prints Co. The date dots are those Avalon and 9th. This grill as well as the sandcastle are from the Happy Planner. These 2 things the foiling is also from the leftovers, or the Wiggle. And then I think this checklist came from my stash there. And then otherwise, a lot of it just came from that kit. And then this bottom washi came from Scotch. But I think that's pretty much it. So it was a really busy week during the week, getting a lot of work stuff done and things like that. And then some family time over the weekend, which was really nice. So I don't have too much to add for today, but I do think that the spread turned out really cute. So as always, please like and subscribe below if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. It helps me out. Let me know how your week went down below, or if you don't have anything that you want to leave me a fish emoji just to say hi. I would love to hear from you. And then follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Creative Life of Liz. You'll see in progress and finished spreads. I tag the shops on Instagram. I include them in addition to a description in the alt text on Blue Sky. I also show you bits and pieces of my life, what I'm reading, all that good stuff. And until next time, bye.